first impression of the game, I already love the graphics. The graphics was amazing. And I just already knew this game was going to be iconic. Okay, this game was going to be iconic. I think it was taking place in New Orleans or Louisiana, somewhere in Louisiana. You can just tell by the vibes. So the game, it did not start off slow, which was really, really good. We got into the character, we got what was going on, why they were in that situation, and then it built up to the point where her mother was going to be taken away with the house because of a hurricane that was happening. I believe it was a hurricane, right? It went right into it, which I absolutely loved. And it actually showed you the steps of, okay, this is what you're going to do with this. This is what you're going to do with this. As soon as you were like actually into the game. It was like a good pace of knowing what was going on, knowing the characters at that moment, and then going right into it. The most funny moments, I would say, throughout 1 through 4 was definitely the lady, the maid at the flood house, the flood residence.
Excuse me. You can't just...
I was like, I did not know that she was gonna be that ugly. I'm sorry. When it comes to the first video that I uploaded, which was 1 through 4, it was basically just giving you like, storyline was still going on, but I was just fighting a lot of monsters, like basic ass monsters. They wasn't basic, but they were like, they weren't big bosses right now. I was still like basically feeling the mechanics and really trying to get to know like the controls and what this does and what this does. So I was fighting a lot of those when it came to chapter 1 through 4. Let's get into 5 through 8. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. So I fought 2 bosses in that video, in the second video that I uploaded. It was a lot. It was a lot on my mental. Okay, it was just a lot. And I was, as you can see, when it came to these videos, I would change fits. I mean, I would be taking breaks, okay, because it was just a lot. I would get frustrated a lot and all of that. And when the first boss came up, I got frustrated. And I believe that's why he was not in the first video, because of course, the first boss, he would have probably been in the first video and I would have, knocked him out. But it was a lot of things that I was just frustrated with when it came to that goddamn boss, which was the alligator. That was really pissing me off. It really, really was. But once I finally got the hang of like, okay, this is how I dodge. Hit this attack. This is how I dodge that attack. It got easier, but I had to, play with it a little bit. Pause. Pause. Like, it was no stale moments when it came to 5 through 8 either. It's same with 1 through 4. It was no stale moments. It kept me on my toes. It kept me interested. It kept me fighting motherfuckers. Okay? But the monsters that I was fighting literally every 5 seconds was keeping me on my toes. Okay? It was keeping me on my toes. It was keeping me interested. So it was basically a whole bunch of fighting them and story times. And then if it wasn't like storytelling and fighting them, it was a big boss that I had to come up against. So it kept me on my toes. Let's just say that. It wasn't boring. It wasn't boring at all. Not to me. The second boss, which was Laurent, I believe, it was actually pretty easy. I'm not gonna say it was easy because I did have my times where I'm like, okay, hold up. But once I got his patterns, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a piece of cake. It was a piece of cake fighting him, which is kind of weird because you would think the second boss would be a little bit, difficult than the first one, But no, he was good. He was good. I was like, okay, I can do this. Chapter 9 through 11. This is where we get into Molly, all right? Throughout this whole game, I'm thinking Molly was the big boss that I was supposed to fight this whole time. And come to find out, it wasn't. At this time, I'm not knowing. I'm thinking Molly is like this woman that took my mother and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking that she's like the fucking enemy, just like Hazel thought she was the fucking enemy. So we finally get to Molly. I'm thinking that it's kind of like early to like be fighting the boss at this moment. So I'm like, I'm kind of side-eyeing it, I'm like, is this the end of, the game? It's only like what, 9, 10, 11 chapters. Like, okay. Before we even get to Molly, we get to the backstory when it came to Itchy. All right. We get his backstory. And mind you, let me pause here. Before we get into Itchy, let me pause here. I love how before any big boss, they give you a story. And that's how I know this game was deeper than, just, playing a video game. It was actually a really, really deep game, and I actually loved that. The backstory on the alligator and Jolene and how she killed her father basically gives you why this occurred, why we have this pain here. I love that, right? So we get to Itchy, and we get the backstory on his pain and, his father, abusive father, and Molly kills him. Molly doesn't take him. Molly kills his father, but she doesn't take him. And he's like, why am I not good enough? Why did you take my friends? I don't even have no friends anymore. So it's like a sad little, story time when it comes to, Itchy and Itchy's life. And then we get to Molly. Now I'm fighting Molly. And then this is where I'm like, okay, this can't be over. It feels like, first of all, I feel like this was the big boss, but something telling me that this is not over. I'm fighting Molly. It was not difficult, which I was very shocked about. I'm like, okay, this is not difficult. This is the boss, and it's not difficult at all. Maybe because I was fighting so many monsters throughout the entire game that the big bosses was just a piece of cake. So we finally fight Molly, and we get to a point where now we're like figuring out that Molly is not the bad guy here. She's actually helping my mother. She's actually like healing my mother. So now we have to say sorry to Molly. We're chasing her down. To find out my estranged grandmother is killing this monster. She's killing Molly. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then, of course, Hazel, she's just like standing there not doing anything. And I'm like, Hazel, get this woman. Like, you're just sitting there telling her to stop, knowing she's not going to stop. You're just like literally sitting here watching her kill this monster, right? Finally gets what she needed. She kills Molly. And she, tries to kill me, but somehow I survive. So I'm like, okay, maybe the big boss that I need to be fighting is my estranged grandmother. So after those chapters, I'm thinking, okay, this is my grandmother I need to fight. We're going to the next chapters, which is the final chapters of the game, which is 12 through 14. And this is where we meet, what is that nigga name? It's the King of Dreams and Nightmares. We meet the King of Dreams and Nightmares. So they get my mother. It's this man, he gets my mother. I forgot his name too, okay? He gets my mother. My mother was, of course, in the Dreams and Nightmares. And now this was the monster, the big boss that I needed to fight throughout this entire game. I thought it was Molly. I thought it was the grandmother. No, it was the King of Dreams and Nightmares that I had to fight. The shadow that was basically following me around every time I, accomplish a story. My experience of fighting the big boss, man, I was getting so fucking frustrated when fighting this big boss. I really, really was. I died a couple of times. I probably didn't show it in my, in my video. But that was the only boss, besides the first one, because I was trying to, figure out, the moves and stuff with the first boss. But I was basically still trying to figure out the pattern with the big boss as well. I caught onto it real quick. It was the monsters that was, putting me in the dirt. They really was. They was kicking my ass. And I'm just like, okay, I had to lock in, because I really wasn't locked in like that. So I was like, okay, let me fucking lock in. And get this done. So I locked in. I finally beat him. And now I have my mother back. I have my mother back. I defeated him. Well, I really didn't defeat him. I just stopped his hunger. That's what old dude said. And he wanted my grandmother. He was like, give this brush to your grandmother. This was my favor. I was going to do you a favor. You're going to have to do me a favor afterwards. So I'm thinking I would have to fight somebody else. I'm like, yo, don't give me nobody else. I'm tapped out. I don't want to fight nobody else. I've been fighting throughout this whole fucking gameplay. I'm done, okay? But he just wanted me to get a brush to my grandma. So I'm thinking I might have to fight my grandmother, but I don't. I just go to her house. I talk to her. She's still trying to figure out why her daughter is not back. She did all this black magic for what, okay? It didn't bring her daughter back. I finally give her the brush. And he comes and he's like, he takes my grandmother away. And then I'm reunited with my mother. and then the story ends. And I'm just like, yo, this is actually a dope ass game. Like, this was really, really a great game. I really, really enjoyed it. It had its moments to where I was kind of like over it. I'm not even gonna hold you up. It was I had my moments where I was over the shit. Okay, I was over it. It wasn't even the big bosses where I was over it. It was the damn, every time I turn around, I had to fight these motherfucking other monsters. These little basic little monsters. Like when I'm like clearing the stigma, I had to fight these niggas all the time. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like every single time, like I would also get these new motherfuckers, these new big ass monsters too, with the extra little monsters that I already was fighting. A new monster. Great.
Be nice.
I'm finding it.
It take you that long to find it?
It does.
And I'm just like, yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot. But that's just me. That's just me. I love the multiple stories behind every single stigma. It showed me that people have their own shit going on. People have their own pain. People have their own things that they can't get over, that really sticks with them, you know, and that they have not healed from. And the character that I was playing, Hazel, was basically healing that trauma and that pain that people was holding on to for years. What do I rate this game? I would have to rate this game a 9.5 out of 10. I'm not gonna rate it a 10 out of 10 because you already know nothing is perfect with me. So I have to rate it a 9.5 out of 10. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for coming through and listening to me yap about this game and my reviews and my take on it. That's it. I will see you guys in the next video. And remember, don't worry about failure. You don't have to be right once. Peace.
She said she wants to suck for me. I said, no, I don't want it. I don't want sex. I don't want sex. She said she wants to suck for me. I said, no, I don't want it. I'm just waiting for the bus. I didn't want sex.